are in the middle of it. Face hot, heart hammering, your voice is doing that thing where it cracks slightly even though you're trying to sound in control. You are saying words you don't mean. You are defending positions you don't even believe. And the other person is just staring at you, waiting for you to finish, so they can tear apart whatever you just said. You know you're losing. You know it because you can feel the power draining out of you. Each word you speak is another chip you're handing over. The more you explain, the weaker you get. The more you justify, the smaller you become. And then, in the silence between your desperate sentences, a horrible realization hits you. The argument was never about the argument. You are not fighting over the thing you are fighting over. You are fighting for dominance. You are fighting for status. You are fighting because something in the other person's nervous system is trying to push yours down, and yours is fighting back. And the moment you understand that, you realize something even worse. Words are the worst weapon in this war. But silence? Silence is a bomb. Let me show you how it works. Imagine a room on fire, flames everywhere, smoke filling the ceiling. Most people, when they argue, are throwing gasoline on that fire. Every word they speak is another splash of fuel. They think they are putting it out with logic, but they are just feeding the heat. The person who wins without words does something else. They do not throw gasoline. They do not grab a fire extinguisher. They rip the oxygen out of the room. They create a vacuum. And a fire cannot burn in a vacuum. The same thing happens in an argument. When you react, when you defend, when you explain, you are giving them oxygen. You are feeding their fire, but when you go silent, when you go still, when you remove the fuel they are expecting, their fire suffocates, and they are left standing there, holding a match with nothing to burn. That is the art of winning without saying a word. The first phase is the hardest, because every instinct in your body is screaming at you to fight back, to defend yourself, to prove them wrong. Do not. When they finish their attack, give them nothing. Let the silence hang in the air like a held breath. You have seen this in movies. The interrogator who just stares. The predator who goes still. There is a reason it terrifies us, because humans are neurologically wired to fill silence with concessions. Their brain panics. They start to wonder if you know something they do not. They start to question their own position. They will backtrack. They will over-explain. They will accidentally reveal the thing they were really afraid of. You have not said a word, but you have gathered everything you need. If they are truly unhinged, if they are purely irrational, you do something even more devastating. You leave. Not dramatically, not with a parting shot. You just remove your presence from the room. Now they are standing there alone with all that heat and nowhere to put it. They will replay the moment in their head for hours. They will wonder what you were thinking. They will rehearse all the things they wish they had said. And the worst part? They know you walked away because you were not threatened. You were bored. That is psychological warfare at its finest, and you have not fired a single bullet. But removal only works if you hold your frame, if you look weak, if your eyes dart around, which brings us to the second phase. You have withdrawn your energy. Now you need to redirect theirs. This is where the Socratic trick comes in. Instead of counterattacking, turn their assertion into a question. The simplest question in the world. What makes you say that? How did you come to that conclusion? You have just taken the spotlight off yourself and shoved it back onto them. Now they have to defend their logic. They have to explain themselves. And the more they explain, the more tangled they get. 9 times out of 10, they will soften their position. They will walk back their own words because nobody wants to sound extreme when they are forced to articulate their reasoning out loud. But there is an even quieter move, the I see statement. When they finish their emotional outburst, just say, I see, and stop. You have not agreed. You have not argued. You have handed them a void, and a void is terrifying. They will rush to fill it. They will soften. They will backtrack. They will do all the work of losing the argument while you just stand there neutral as a wall. Now you are no longer fighting them. You are letting them fight themselves. The mirror trick takes it a step further. Repeat the last few words they said with a slight upward inflection. So you're saying I'm always late? Forces them to elaborate. And elaboration is their enemy. Because the more specific they get, the more vulnerable they become. They will almost always contradict themselves just to avoid sounding unreasonable. You are not arguing. You are harvesting. Now you move from defense to absorption. You take their weapon and you make it harmless. The pause and nod is devastating. Do not agree. Do not disagree. Just nod slowly, as if you are genuinely considering their brilliant point. This does 2 things. First, it satisfies their desperate need to feel heard, which lowers their defenses. Second, it buys your brain time to cool down. You stop reacting emotionally. You start thinking strategically. But the nuclear option is this: agree with them. Exaggerate their accusation to absurdity. Them. You never take anything seriously. You are right. I am basically a toddler in a suit. Now there is nothing left to fight against. You have stolen their weapon and turned it into a joke. If they keep attacking after that, they look ridiculous, and they know it. If you absolutely must say something, become a broken record. Pick one calm phrase and repeat it like a mantra. I understand you are upset. I am not going to engage like this. No matter what they throw at you, insults, accusations, bait. Same response. They exhaust themselves trying to provoke you. You stay centered. They are swinging at smoke. Now let us look under the hood. The moment someone feels attacked, their amygdala activates. This is the brain's threat detection center. Blood flows away from the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for logic and reasoning, and floods the survival systems. Their IQ drops in real time. Literally, stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline flood their system. They are no longer thinking clearly, they are reacting. When you stay silent and calm, you are not just controlling yourself, you are dysregulating them. They expect a fight, their body is primed for a fight, and you give them nothing. That mismatch triggers confusion. The brain does not know how to respond to a calm presence in a heated moment. It short circuits. They get louder, messier, more irrational, and the more they escalate, the more they lose. The more you stay still, the more you win. You have not said a single word, but you have already won. Here is where the light shifts. These patterns were not invented by dating coaches or business gurus. They were refined in closed rooms over decades, by interrogators who needed to extract confessions, by hostage negotiators who needed to break someone down without raising a voice. Silence, in the hands of someone who knows how to use it, not peace. It is pressure. The same calm that wins an argument was used to make people abandon their own judgment, to surrender to a single figure, to betray their own beliefs just to escape the weight of the quiet. That is the shadow side of this knowledge. You can use it to protect yourself, or you can use it to consume others. The difference is intention. Intention is everything. We have walked through the withdrawal, the deflection, the disarmament. You now have the tools to walk into any heated moment and walk out without a scratch. But here is the final truth. The goal is not to win arguments. The goal is to never need to. Because if you are truly winning, the argument does not happen in the first place. You de-escalate before the fire starts. You refuse to hand over your power. You become so comfortable in your own presence that no attack can reach you. The person who speaks the least holds the most power. Words are a currency. Spend them all and you are broke. Hoard them and you are rich. Next time you feel the heat rising, remember, don't react. Observe. Don't defend. Deflect. Don't speak to win. Speak to let them lose. The art of winning without words is the difference between being a chess piece and being the player. Once you master it, arguments stop being wars. They become a game you quietly, calmly, inevitably win. The full breakdown, including the darker applications of these patterns, how they were used by interrogators, and how to protect yourself from someone using them on you, is in the Nextdoor newsletter. Link in the description.